Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the second mission for the Guadalcanal, part of the World Mission Campaign. And today we're going to be using Nuremberg, which is a Tier 6 German light cruiser. The main reason why I like Nuremberg is because she has fast shells, she has hydroacoustic search, and she has two sets of triple torpedo launchers on each side. And honestly, some pretty decent secondaries too. But not really the best secondaries, but they're there. She does have the ability to equip anti-air defense, and she can even equip a hull that gives her a lot more anti-aircraft guns. But for today, we are not going to be going up against any carriers, so we'll be equipping the hull with the torpedoes and equipping hydroacoustic search to hunt down those pesky little destroyers. So today's mission, we are going up against 3 heavy cruisers and about 8 destroyers. Honestly, the first mission of Tassafaronga is a lot more difficult than Cape Esperance because it has a battleship versus 3 heavy cruisers. These being Japanese heavy cruisers, so they are quite easy to citadel as well. So we're going to take Nuremberg with our hydro torpedoes and very fast shells and really good armor piercing. And we are going to go up against an Aoba, a Ferritaka, another Aoba, a Nakazuki, and then a mix of Fubukis and Kageros. And we have, let's see what we have on our side. We have a Ranger, a Baltimore, a New Orleans, a Brooklyn, a Pensacola, and it looks like 5 Bensons. So pretty powerful force. These first missions that you'll go from like 1-1 all the way to 2-4 or so, the Americans will definitely have a very strong advantage in terms of firepower versus the Japanese, but it will soon be eclipsed, and it will be eclipsed very, very hard. Alright, so we're already in range. It doesn't necessarily mean we can hit them though. But let's start sending our shells downrange. As you can see, very, very fast shells. This ship is really, really good at hitting targets at range because she needs to stay at range because she doesn't have the armor to deal with anything at close or medium range. And if you are at close or medium range, at that point you're just rushing in nose first with your torpedoes. Okay, so I don't know the exact range of my hydroacoustic search, but it's either 5.5 or about 6.0. Either way, I'm still out of range. So we're just going to still start spamming high explosive, downrange. And it actually looks like there's different algorithms for the missions, because most of the time that I play this mission, all the ships head from the north all the way to the east behind the island over there and just get stuck in the border. But this time they're actually heading down south-ish or so. And we're going to actually stop here because I don't know how far those torpedoes are going to go. There's been too many times where I thought I'd be okay from torpedoes and then I get hit by them. So I don't play that game anymore. Even if it looks like I'll be fine, I like to just stop and make sure. Which is honestly not a bad thing. Alright, so we're just finishing up these destroyers really quickly. Even at almost 12 kilometers, I'm still able to land decent hits on all of these destroyers. This is definitely a good ship to take on destroyers if you can detect them. And that's why you have hydroacoustic search as well. Alright, so we're going to let that destroyer burn. And it looks like the cruisers are going to want to come play. So let's switch over to armor piercing and see if we can get any good broadside hits on them. Well, especially if they turn broadside like that, it will definitely make us very happy indeed. Because we can start citadeling them. I am going to pop a hydro. Not because I'm trying to detect ships and smoke screens, but because there's a lot of ships over here that can start flinging torpedoes at me. And if I'm at half speed, I'm not exactly a hard target to hit. But I can at least see the torpedoes and excel out of the way, or at least try to the best of my advantage before they hit me. Alright. Nuremberg is a very interesting ship in the fact that she has two of her turrets in the stern and only one in the bows, similar to Königsberg and even Navarino now. And what's good about that is you can have your tail end, your stern, facing the enemy and still using 2/3 of your entire armament and not giving much opportunity for the enemy to shoot at you. So, for example, here I can still use 2 out of the 3 turrets. I'm at an angle where a lot of shells might just simply ricochet off me. And if I am in danger, I can go to full speed and quickly escape. And also send torpedoes behind me because I have honestly pretty decent torpedo angles. So, oh wow, these ships just keep getting destroyed. Nuremberg is a really good ship for this kind of playstyle, and you can even reverse into the enemy. You're not going to do that very fast, but at least you can get out of danger really quick if they start coming towards you. And you always have a heal. A heal's nice. Alright, so now we just have to start finishing up these destroyers here. Well, we're actually going to start looping around, I think, and getting our bow turret in the game as well. It's really hard to hit these ships on the border because it's hard to judge their speed sometimes. So it looks like it's stopped. And yep, there she goes. She's done for. Let's see, can we finish you off, Akazuki? We can't really hit her yet. But like I said, that border does make her unpredictable. One more salvo should be good. Or not. Oh well, we're just mopping everything up at this point. So you can kind of understand what I was saying when the mission before this with the Congo battleships seems to be more difficult than this one. The heavy cruisers really don't put up much of a fight. They do have pretty decent armor against smaller caliber weapons like 5 and 6 inch guns, and even 4s and 3s if you use those. Especially against 4s, you're not going to do much. But for anything that's higher than that, even 6 inch, 8 inch, whatever you have, if you get the broadside, it will hurt no matter what. And with that, we do finish up the second mission of the Guadalcanal campaign with 111,000 damage. We are actually able to break 100k now. 2 ships only were sunk, 177 shell hits, 2 citadels, 6 fires, and 8 secondary hits. We had 102,000 damage in our main guns, 56,000 in high explosive, and 45,000 in armor piercing. Almost 6,500 in fires, and our secondary battery actually did almost 3,000 damage as well. And probably with some destroyers, I would assume. So yeah, Nuremberg, I mean, you can use whatever ship you have or you feel like you're best in to complete these missions. There's no tier requirement. You can either take a tier 1 or you can take a tier 10 matchmaking. It's really whatever you have. Me, I'm trying to use tech tree ships that are a good impression of what you would come across. So I would expect someone to have a Nuremberg possibly at this tier of the world mission. And honestly, she's a really good ship for that. Any German cruiser you have is going to be a good ship for the world missions because you have pretty decent guns, you have torpedoes, and you also have hydroacoustic search to help find destroyers and smokescreens. And there's going to be a lot of destroyers. There's some missions where there's literally like 20 destroyers, plus cruisers, plus battleships, plus like 4 carriers. So it gets a lot harder, trust me. But for these middle ones, it's not that hard. And tomorrow we'll be going over the third one, which is the Corals. Oh, no, that's the Pacific one. Third one is Savo Island. So it looks like we're going to be seeing some more good cruiser action. So thank you for watching and take care.